All right, well, let's get right into it, guys. The map is going to be Whirlwind. Oh my goodness, our players switching colors like crazy, man. It almost matches, but introduce these players and then fix that. Spawning in the top right position as our Teal Terran player. Man, that game was long, but he persevered. He took half the map, and, well, he is Empire.Kas. And spawning in the top left position as the red Zerg player. He's down 1-2, but this is a best of 5, so if he wins this game, he'll have another shot. I mean, this if he loses, though, it's over for him, and this is the playoffs. It is VPbenQsLivko. So talk a little bit while I fix this starboard situation. Whirlwind is one of those maps where it's so big, you have a lot of open areas. It's very difficult for players to do things like handle being dropped. It's a good Mutalisk play map, although I will say we really haven't seen too much of that out of these players at all, so it's going to be interesting whether or not we get any kind of really fast aggressive play. I feel like Kas could try to go for some kind of 2-based timing, simply based on the fact that he's up 2-1, right? If he loses this game, he has another shot. Slivko cannot afford to lose this game. If he does, he's out. That's it. No more tournament run, trying to get money or anything like that. And this is actually, interestingly enough to note, it's one of the last things in Wings of Liberty that a lot of these players are doing. There's really no more big events for Wings of Liberty. This is basically the last known tournament, at least that I'm aware of. So Kas is going to go Command Center first, not a bad decision at all, and we will have Slivko also go for a hatchery first. Obviously the more standard build for the Zerg player, but Command Center first really picked up in metagame towards the last... I'd say last half a year of Wings of Liberty. We've been seeing a ton more of it chosen by Terran players. Of course, it was always popular for players such as Marine King. MVP also used it occasionally, but now it's a gold standard. Basically figured out every way to hold off anything, depending how you hold. Oh yes, we also have GSL finals. Yeah, wow, things to forget. I'm slipping, but Command Center's on the way, Barracks is on the way, and we're going to have a gas. So this is an interesting play by Kas. He actually went for his gas before starting his Barracks. So he is going to go for a really, really fast Hellion build. He basically doesn't want to have to wait to build a Marine. We might actually not even see him build a Marine. And Slivko's going to scout this. I wonder if he's like thinking, okay, well, that's not quite as fast a Barracks, but the timing is so variable that I don't think it's actually significant enough for Slivko to notice that Kas is going for gas first in a Command Center. Excuse me, gas first into racks from a Command Center first. He's going to get his double Queen production started. I wouldn't be surprised if he moves at 4 Queen. Try to go for a big push, but... Well, I mean, excuse me, a big push of creep, as it were, using the Queens to spread that. But we're going to have to see Kas now sending his SCV scout out. He will be going the complete wrong way to find his opponent. So that's always lovely. 1 Marine is out now. The factory is started. About as fast a factory as you can get. We will see the tech lab now, the reactor now start for the barracks, most likely very soon. There we go. So Slivko's going to take a fast third base, and this is kind of like what a lot of Zerg players started doing around over the summer of Wings of Liberty. Once the Queen buff was initiated, we saw a lot of 3 base, no gas, 4 Queen builds. This is actually going to be 3 Queens we're seeing out of Slivko. He only has 2 right now. He's building 1. Okay, now queuing up a 2nd Queen, so... Now he's going to be like, okay. And the reason why this works so well is you just have the Queens with the range. You can hold off Hellion pressure pretty well. They're not affected by the Hellion's buffed damage versus light units. So they do pretty well holding their own. And with the range, they can also protect creep tumors from being stopped by Zerg players. But Slivko's going to send a couple of Zerglings up. Okay, there's a bunker at the top of the ramp. Doesn't move in. This Zergling barely missed the tower. You're almost there, man. And, well, Kas is, his first thing he will scout is going to be the building 3rd base, but he actually misses it completely, so if the Queens kill this SCV fast enough before it can scout gas, this could be huge. Sees the Queens, now he's going to head back over to that 3rd. If Kas should see this, there we go, now sees the creeps. Okay, you went for the fast 3rd base. I don't have to worry about any kind of speedling attack. Kas doesn't have to worry about roach attack, 2-base Mutalisk. A lot of options just went out the window for Slivko, at least in the eyes of Kas. So he's got this 3rd Command Center going. Pretty economic, somewhat greedy build, but this actually flushes a lot better with this build. Not quite the double hatchery first. So both players are being really greedy again this game, but this map is a little bit more favorable of that playstyle. I think we're going to see Kas be a bit more aggressive, but interestingly enough, Slivko is going to go with the Roach Warren with his double wall off. And that's interesting to me because there's not really too much Hellion pressure coming. It's 4 Hellions. Okay, Queens deal with that just fine. This isn't big mass Hellion play. He's going to lose a drone or two, but... Oh wow, look at that. Great great timing there. Just builds a Spine Crawler. He can actually cancel that and get his drone back once the Hellions are gone, if he so chooses to do so. And while the Hellion's going to run up towards the natural now, there is a wall, though. Actually, a really nicely placed wall. I love that. It's like, man, we got Terran building something out, the Zerg building their walls. It's crazy stuff, but the Roach Warren's going to complete soon. We do have Zergling speed, though, being researched by Slivko. This is important to note. He's not going to go any kind of... well, at least doesn't look like he's going to go for any kind of big Roach play. I feel like he got it a bit defensively. We've actually seen Kas, I believe, in one of the series I casted in earlier group stages of the RSL, did end up going for that 2-base, that 2-factory timing with the Blue Flame Hellions. So Kas has a lot of build variety that he looks into, but since he have +1 melee attack coming in for Slivko, that Roach Warren is definitely not going to be used for anything. He mostly just got it, I guess, just to be a little bit defensive, make sure he wasn't going to do anything crazy. Overlord comes in, sees, okay, double engineering bay, tons of barracks. Well, I'm playing versus Empire.Kas. Both of these things are basically a given at this point. So double upgrades now starting. They're going to be slightly behind for Kas. So with the layer about to wrap up for Slivko, we should see him throw down that Infestation Pit. He's really been favoring his hive-based play. So I am not surprised at all if he does this. He could throw down a Spire, unlikely. Hellions dive into the 3rd base. Kill maybe a couple drones. He's actually got 11 so far this game, not bad. And we have a proxy base for a Kas. Even I missed this, as on the bottom of the mini map. Wasn't even looking there. This is really interesting, I have to say. Kas, he's a crazy guy. This is probably the most out of place space you could just take. So really nice, just ninja expand there. Could end up paying off big dividends for him. It leaves him a little bit vulnerable because he's, of course, delayed tech. He doesn't have siege tanks started at all. But the Infestation Pit and the Bailey Nest are only now on the way. So Slivko's also not going to really put in too much pressure in any kind of reasonably soon time, I have to say. So Kas, and I love this. Just dump all of your mules on the fourth ninja base, and then because the odds of you ever taking this base normally in a normal progression are so slim that if you take it as a ninja, that's what you want to do. Just dump all of your mules there, and by the time that Slivko ever runs over to this base, he'll just walk over and he'll just be like, oh, all the mineral patches are gone. What happened? And the command center will have like flown away. So really like that. Ninja bases, we don't see them anywhere near enough in StarCraft 2. But Hive is on the way, Pathogen Glands is on the way, Spire is on the way. Slivko is getting ready to move in his big Broodlord Infestor army. He's gone for this the last couple of games, but in this game, he hasn't been torn apart quite in the same way that he has been in the Entombed Valley game by Kas. So he's definitely going to be much more able to get up to that count. What's going to be important this game, though, is Kas going to do what he needs to do, scout well enough to know that there's Broodlords coming, and then accordingly deal with them, because he wasn't able to Cloud Kingdom, and these Zerglings are going to catch these Marines in the center of the field, going to all get surrounded. Kas throws stepping as much as he can, but he will get swallowed here. He does not have an upgrade advantage to help him take this fight. Fighting in the bushes, man, that's like fighting in the jungle. He had to run in the jungle for cover, but he wasn't able to hide. Zerglings running up to this 4th base, third base. The Marines are in a bunker here, though. The SCVs just going to kind of park themselves. And now, oh my goodness, these Marines are going to catch these Zerglings. A nice pickup for Kas. That's really nice. He's got a bunch of Zerglings basically for free. Didn't lose any SCVs. Look at the workers killed. It's 1 SCV killed. That was like, that's like Kas's scout was killed. So very, very nice play so far from him. We have, of course, the reactor on the starport about to finish. Kas can't really push out until he has medevacs. So this is where his greed comes in. He gets all these command centers set up. Look at him. All of these mules going. He actually built SCVs off of this command center. He's going to take the gas. And Slivko's only just getting his 4th base. It's not saturated. He doesn't have gas mining there. He barely has any drones there. A single drone. And Kas, this puts Kas at a significant economic advantage. His supply should skyrocket above Slivko's. But we'll have to see. He's trying to move some Banelings outside. And he basically wants to bust down this wall that Kas has at his 3rd base. It won't be super easy to do so. But if he breaks in, the Zerglings get in, do a bit of damage. There are 2 bunkers, so he needs to make sure that he hits at least not the supply depots. Because if he hits the left side, he might not actually kill the 2nd bunker. So the Baneling splash should be more than enough. But we finally have medevacs on the way and coming out for Kas. No drops on the field just yet. The Overlord spread, though, not really too sharp on watching for these drops. But Kas is actually going to catch these units out in the field. He might actually force Slivko to just try to bust into the third base. I'm kind of surprised that Kas isn't chasing them. But, well, the Baneling's going to move, and the bunkers go down. It's just Zerglings versus SCVs, but there are already Marines poised, ready to run over. Save the day, as it were. These SCVs are forever grateful. They're eternally grateful. Still no medevacs. They're back at home, and Kas's push is very strong in terms of there's a very meaty composition, but Broodlords are on the way. There are Infestors on the field. There are Banelings on the field. He needs to be very careful. These Marines, he's stimming them. They have no sustain right now. He's going to step forward, try to kill some of these drones, gets a good one out. He's going to deny this base, but there is a base coming in the top center. As I say that, Kas has medevacs moving over in that direction. What Kas needs to do is kill this and get the hell out of here. But with the current setup for Slivko, that does not appear to be a reasonable possibility. I honestly, I kind of fear for Kas's army here. It's very isolated, but of course he has a ton of economy rolling in. He's doing just fine in terms of setting things up. And I love this. He's making these mineral patches last so long. His main base is going to mine out, sure, but it's going to mine out in 16 minutes. That's not bad. Double drop heads into the third base, but Kas actually didn't stop the top middle base, and there's a lot mining there. He has units here to stop this, but the Zerglings are already there. So Kas's army, his army is actually really split. His medevacs can't do too much. The Zerglings are here to get him. His main army is actually trapped here by this Broodlord Infestor Ball, and there's the fungal. This is just all that's going to die. That's actually a really big loss for Kas. Really great pickup for Slivko. He is in actually a fantastic position right now. Kas, he's slipping a little bit, even with the ninja base. He actually has another base in the very bottom right. He's mining a lot of minerals, but I want to go back to the reason why Kas lost game number, what was it, 3? The game on Cloud Kingdom. Actually, that's game number 2, yeah. And that's largely due to not having the tech that he needed to counter what Slivko had. And now he's going to run in again, and he's going to lose this push. He needs to ball up his forces because the Broodlord count is only increasing. There's 7 right now. There's another one on the way. We could have more being produced. Slivko, he actually has managed to reach somewhat of the economy he's wanted before. The drop comes in here. The drones were pulled away, but he's not dealing like standing damage that's going to last a while. The thing is as few resources as Slivko has access to because his bases, the mining is being slowed, being shut down a little bit. And Kas does have more bases. I won't lie to you, but Slivko's army can be infinitely more cost-effective if Kas does not have enough Vikings. But he has 3 starports now, pumping them out. Needs to be careful he doesn't underproduce medevacs there because he's actually going to start medevacs as well. So right now, Kas just needs a good engagement, and he should be fine. But Slivko, he just needs time. He just needs time to build up his forces, get more drones mining, build up more workers, and, well, Kas actually has a nice big push going around the bottom side, completely bypassing. I want to note, there's no overlords on the bottom half of this map at all to spot either drops, to spot army movements, and, that could cost Slivko here. He could just lose this next base. He's beginning to move drones over. He could be like, okay, I'm finally going to be in a good position against Kas in terms of economy. I'm going to get this 5th base set up, or 5th, 6th, whatever base, and, well, Kas, there's nothing to spot him coming in here, and guess where the Broodlords are? Very far away with the Infestors. There are Zerglings and Banelings, sure, but there are more than enough Marines to overpower this force. There are Siege Tanks. He's going to stim and run forward. The Baneling's going to move in now. There's just not enough to kill all of this. Great split by Kas. Barely loses anything. There are Zerglings coming in from the side. Now all the Zerglings being sent to help try to deal with this. The Infestor Broodlords, though, he's just going to try to push with them. And I think that's a bit of a miscalculation in terms of how much damage he can really do because there are Vikings here. There are Marines. He's going to lose this base, but the drones are being pulled away. And this is it. Slivko's going to try to force this. The Infestor's not with them just yet. Kas needs to watch out. He needs to have those Vikings split. If he does not, a couple Fungal Growths could turn this the wrong way really quickly. He has a massive bank, though. I really feel like Kas needs to get some more starports. He could have so much more production with the economy he has. But here it comes. They're beginning to push in, and the Infestors, man, these things do a lot of damage to the Vikings. All he needs is one clutch Fungal, and he's going to be able to take this out. Kas, of course, is continuing to deny these bases on the left side, but I have to say, man, Slivko, he's in an all-K position because he has his 4th base mining. He's actually gotten to that sweet number of Broodlords. He's got, it's 8 Broodlords. It's not a crazy amount. It's not too little, though. With the Infestor and Corruptor support, he has what he needs. At this point, it's only a matter of trading away some of his Zerglings, maybe turning some of his drones into spine crawlers. He does have a rather large number of them. He has 84 drones, so he can start to throw away a little bit of his supply. and try to just go for the big death ball push. The big issue here, though, is that army is immobile. It can't move terribly quickly. And now, Slivko moves up. He gets fungal growths. The queens are here. They're transfusing each other, so he's going to shut down this drop. But Kas, by moving your army, you've opened the door for Kas to come in and drop your third base. The double medevac drop can take out a spine crawler and a spore. Kas is going to move around the center of the map, begin to clean up the creep tumors. And this is the part where things get really, really scary to deal with as a Zerg player, because you have such a powerful army of Broodlord and Infestor, but your army's so slow. You can't defend everything. I love that it's trying to take what would normally be a third base for a Terran player. Slivko is trying to take that. 3 Marines trying to poke away at it. It's so awkward to be spawning, basically. It's like kind of like the shoulders spawn to the Terran. Like, you're basically rubbing shoulders the whole game. And this whole bottom area is just, well, we don't really talk about it too much. So 3 more starports on the way for Kas. He's really starting to amp up his production now, and that's exactly what he's been needing to do. I really wish I could see a battlecruiser game out of him, but it doesn't appear that's going to be the case. Marines started stepping backwards. There is a Baneling. Might want to target fire. That does, actually. Really nice catch. And we have another double drop coming. There's no overlords on the bottom side of the map. He cannot spot any of this aggression coming. The medevacs are here. They're going to drop. I love these drones are actually just sitting here. Slivko, he's so distracted by trying to deal with these pushes that he has a lot of other drones. He's building a hatchery outside of Kas's base. Is this a manor hatchery? Does he think Kas is only on 3 bases? I mean, we look at his vision. He doesn't know about any of this. He thinks Kas is on 3 bases. I don't know if this is a manor hatchery or for spreading creep, but this is a bit ridiculous. Slivko trying to push in. Kas has a lot. His production is quite great, but he needs to get a concentrated group of forces to deal with this. Slivko pumping out a ton of Zerglings. Now the queens are here. Kas is in a very, very bad position. He just doesn't have the army that he needs. His army supply is so split everywhere. His production is split. He doesn't have what he needs to actually take all of this out, and he has the resources, of course, to just remax very quickly. But he actually hasn't even barely mined out the first ninja base. But this is just ridiculously scary. He doesn't have anything here. The starports are being camped. He may not actually be able to finish his core grade reactor. There's drops going on at the other bases, sure, but doing economic damage is not going to win Kas this game right now. He needs to actually kill this army, but it does not. It doesn't look like he's going to be able to do that. He just doesn't have enough forces. He needs Seeker missiles to deal with this. There's so many corruptors. The Vikings, aren't going to be able to punch through that with the Infestor support. And the Broodlord count is high enough to keep Marines away. You can't just run into this, especially with the fungal growths there. And yes, just enough supply open for Zerglings to run around and snatch up Kas's drops. Sure, Slivko is now basically on only 3 mining bases. But Kas, he needs to kill this army. He has an epic bank, but his supply is not increasing fast enough. He does not have enough production. He's building 9 more barracks at his ninja base, and I think that's actually a really good decision here. He's been mining this to hell with the mules. He's going for a big push. He's basically trying to shut down the economy so hard that when he does win an engagement, he can win the game, but he needs to deal with what is outside his front door right now. Maybe if he builds starports in the bottom area, that would be more effective than these barracks, because the biggest issue is the Infestor Broodlord. Units that are very cost effective. He doesn't need medevacs for this. All he needs is time. You get time, the queens can transfuse the Broodlords. The Infestors can regain their energy for fungal growth. The Broodlords, well, they attack free units. Free units come out of the Broodlords. They don't need to engage. So Kas, he's in a lot of trouble. He's not going to leave this game. Slivko hopefully doesn't get too far ahead of himself. He may not exactly be aware that Kas has these bases in the bottom right. We have Zerglings headed there now. He's kind of realizing, okay, maybe Kas is a ninja base. I don't know. Why is he still in this game? Why is Kas not leaving when I have all of this army out front? And Kas's 3-3 is actually about to finish. I actually didn't realize his 3-3 was really late. But here it comes. This is going to be basically his last stand. The Vikings get fungled. He needs to spread them out just a little bit more. He has so much here. The tanks need to focus fire down these queens. There he is. He's firing at them. And I think Kas might be able to barely do enough damage to slow this down. Just enough for Slivko to not have enough to actually deal with a remax from Kas at the bottom. He's producing 29 Marines at a time. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. He scans, sees the army, says, okay, I'm just going to keep making Marines. This is my best chance at winning this game right now. He's actually lost all of his starports. I'm really upset he hasn't built more, but he's found the bottom right base. But there's so much Marine production here, he actually should be able to stop this. What is this game, man? There's no medevacs, though, so fighting through the fungals is going to be impossible. The Infestors just have too much energy. There's at least 3 or 4 fungals here, now 5, 6, with the additional Infestors arriving. And Kas, man, I don't even know what to say about this game. It looked like he had this game. He really should have had this, but I think to deal with this kind of army, you need a lot more Vikings and Ravens earlier. His starports were simply, once again, too little too late. He's at 51 supply, even with the ninja bases. There's no SCVs left here anymore. The Zerglings have found them, have torn it apart. The production's being eradicated, and it's just Marines. And as we're seeing right now, pure Marine is not enough to stop Broodlord, Infestor, Corruptor, Queen, especially with the barely Zerg support. So that's it. Just a ridiculously cost-effective army for Slivko. Empire.Kas is GG, and Slivko ties this series 2-2. We are going to go to an ace match between these players. Wow. Kas, he's good at throwing the units and doing a lot of multi-prong aggression, but the problem is once the Zerg player gets that big ball of death, it doesn't matter if you shut down their economy. You need to kill that army. There was simply too much. There's too much for Slivko. Kas was not able to do it. Guys, we're going to have one more game. This is the first day of the Rhythmic RSL Russian Star League playoffs. We've had a bunch of great games so far, but it all comes down. This is our final match. After this, we can all go and dance or something and cry about HOTS being closed. But this is it. So Kas, he wants to take this right here. The score is even. I will let you guys know about the map as soon as we can. I'm Nathanias, your caster here. All my information is being posted in the chat. Hopefully you guys like my casting. I appreciate comments and whatnot. You can tweet at me your thoughts about the matchup. I don't know, any comments you have about me, maybe if you think I'm ugly or something, even though I don't have my camera on, at Quantic Nate. And we'll get you guys into this next game as soon as we can. Do not go anywhere.